that I will ask a question. They are set in an order that was done by lot in the back. And so that will go from my left, directly from Mr. Dean all the way down. They have 2 minutes to answer each question. You all have been given little cards, brief index cards, in which there will be a period in which we will take questions from the audience. If you have your card and you want to write your question now, in about 10 minutes we will ask you to pass those down, and there will be people collecting those cards so that we can try to pull out some of the themes out of all of those cards. It's obvious we won't be able to ask everyone's question, amen, but we will be able to pull out, and we have a team of people who will pull out some of the common themes so that your question may be asked, as well as there's room for people to ask questions online. Those who are watching us on gogoradio.com or the hiphopnation.com, you can be able to ask questions online, or on Twitter, be able to tweet at Rev Tony Lee and ask your question online. And so as we go to our first question, I would like to ask the candidates, finances are tight all over the nation. What is your economic strategy for the county, and how do communities such as ours factor into this plan? Mr. Dean. And you can feel free. Y'all don't have to stand up. If you want to stand up, you can do it however you need to.
Okay, thank you for the question. We are in a very tight economic situation. One of the problems that we do have here in Prince George's County is that our revenue stream has been relying upon the residential market for too long. We have to begin to diversify. One of the things that we also are doing is that we do have 8 major projects in this system that's moving forward. Also, we are working on building around metros. We have 2 metro stations that we've already built around. We have 3 metro stations that are in our priority to build. One is in Nella Road, the other is Branch Avenue, and the third is New Carrollton. I, as county executive, will make sure that those projects move forward, because what we have to do is to begin to diversify our economy so that we can reduce our tax base. Also, those stations that I've mentioned are all within the established community, which will begin to build that area. We have to also, and let me be very clear, one of the things that we do here in Prince George's County that is troubling for me is that we always talk about what's bad about Prince George's County and never what's good. I came here in 1966 to work at the Weather Bureau right down the street. Prince George's County did not look like it looks now, and what we tend to do as we move forward is that we talk about everything that's bad. We do have trouble with our school system, but there are 7 schools out of 24 high schools that made the Newsweek magazine top schools in the nation. No one talks about that. We have to fix the school. The other problem that I have is that we have the #1 school system in the nation. And the 2 areas where we have problems are Baltimore City and Prince George's County. Something is wrong with that picture. And as county executive, I'd be planning to begin to tackle that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We are in a period of really tight budgets at both the state and the county level. The state has a $32 billion budget, started the year with about a $2 billion gap. All that flows down to the 24 jurisdictions around the state. Prince George's is one of them. We are second in the state in terms of the money we get back from the state. So it has a big impact on us, and those structural deficits we're facing, I believe, will continue for some years. Also, here in the county, as I mentioned, we have a $2.6 billion budget. We start the year with about an $85 million gap. What I've done in my plan is outline 4 ways to try to deal with the budget. 4 specific ways to deal with the budget, including looking at duplication in government, looking at how we're buying things, building our work with our nonprofit sector, such as the faith community. They can be critical in helping us fill in some of those budget gaps, because in partnership, we can go out and apply for federal, state, and other grant dollars. So on the budget, that's a serious challenge because we have education, public safety, and other priorities to fund. We've got to have a solid budget plan going forward. Also, in terms of building economic development in the inner Beltway communities all throughout the county. Like all of the other candidates, I do support transit-oriented development. I do support looking at some of the vacant lots in the inner Beltway community and how we might fill in those lots. Looking at some facade improvements in these in these communities. And also, and I won't be able to get into it much right now, we have a challenge of growing. It's fine to build around our transit stops, but what I can tell you right now is that we have a high vacancy rate in our office space. So we have a challenge of how do we fill in that office space, and I hope to get an opportunity to talk about my plan for that in the upcoming questions.
Thank you. The first thing we have to do is, one, fund our priorities. You start by funding your priorities. That's the way the budget process works. So if education and public safety are our priorities, which they should be for the county, then you fund those first. And then you look at ways of, and everyone is, the prior speakers have said this, we have to look at ways of growing our base. We haven't done it. We haven't grown our tax base, so we're behind. That's the bad news. The good news is we have the only place where there's opportunity. All those other places we talk about in DC and Northern Virginia and Montgomery County and going up the 270 corridor and going down to St. Mary's County and all of those things, that's going to end because the economy has collapsed. Everyone wants to be back next to the District of Columbia because it's the only place that you can print money. So that's opportunity for us to take those places we haven't developed over these last 8 years and actually develop them. The good news for places like where we are today and places like where I live in Cheverly inside the Beltway is we're ground zero for opportunity for commercial growth. Yes, we can grow our businesses here and we can grow them around those areas. Yes, we can attract more federal jobs over into the county. Working with our state partners, working with our federal partners to make sure that areas that we have around the Beltway, we grow. So we start growing that tax base where we can actually pour those dollars into our school system. Yes, we have some good schools, but we need to have the resources to make all of our schools throughout Prince George's County quality schools. And that will help us grow our tax base and grow businesses right here in Prince George's County and give us the resources we need. But we have to have the leadership that knows how to get it done. Thank you.
Thank you. I think what's most important at the onset of my administration is that, we put our money where our mouth is. I have a jobs plan on my website, Michael A. Jackson 2010, and it has 8 steps to it. Expand the businesses that are already here. I intend to create a revolving account where we take the AAA bond rating that our county government currently has and establish low interest loans for small businesses that are already here and have those businesses grow and to ensure that we have jobs here in our county. Activate a business relocation incentive plan where if you bring your business here to Prince George's County, we will give you incentives to bring those businesses here. And if, with the caveat of you having to hire 25 members of our community from Prince George's County. That's important and that's vital. Focus on innovation and expanding markets that are here. Maximize on the use of Build America bonds. Accelerate public works construction jobs that are already in the hopper. Convene a summit of local business leaders to find out from the business people's perspective where the hangups have been, so we can avoid those in the future. Traditionalism of government is what stops the train most of the time. We need to be creative, and we need to have the courage to move forward and to change policies where necessary, and use our political clout to bring about federal and state facilities here in Prince George's County. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, every one of those businesses that gain opportunity with my administration, at the end of the day, those businesses will have to forge a relationship with my schools. They will have to ensure that our young people understand what it is to be a part of a business and help them ignite that entrepreneurial spirit that they have, create internships in middle schools and then in high school internships and partnering with our universities so that we can create the workforce of tomorrow. Thank you.